Diddy, thanks for agreeing to do this interview. I know it's a really tough time for you right now, but we really appreciate your time.
Let's do it.
Now, Puff, P. Diddy, how do you want me to refer to you?
You can call me Love.
Okay, let's address the elephant in the room, all the allegations. Are you attracted to men or women?
It depends on my mood, my vibe.
Is it true that you've had sexual relations with Meek Mill?
I can't tell you that.
This business saying I was going to expose. When I talked about Michael Jackson, when I talked about R. Kelly, they canceled me for these things because why would you talk about another black dude? Race is not where the line is drawn. It's God's side and the other side. And we don't care nothing about the other side. Period. All of these big dick deviants is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is. TG Jakes, any of them. All lies will be exposed. That's all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way, know why they take it the wrong way. The truth is the light.
Shit. So if you want to make me a motherfucking martyr, do what you gotta do, bitch nigga starter. Huh. What's happening, Puff?
We were actually the first ones here with about 30 different law enforcement vehicles at least. There are 3 Bearcats on scene here. This just all unfolded, Sandra, I would say, less than 10 minutes ago. We got here even before the crime scene tape came up. So we're just down the hill. If you look up this street where Tony is right now to the right, you'll see one of those Bearcats and law enforcement. And on the other side of those bushes, basically, is that home that is registered to Bad Boy Films, which is part of Bad Boy Entertainment. And the home in particular is registered not only to Bad Boy Films, but to one of P. Diddy's daughters.
They are heavily armed, and they've been very tactful, would probably be the best word to use, as they made entry into this home this afternoon. We actually watched them as they made their way through one of these side gates, and as soon as they got inside the home, one of the first things they did was made their way into this garage that you see is open right there. Now, they did take a couple people into custody. We witnessed that. Now, are they under arrest? Are they just being asked about what they know? That I can't answer, but I can tell you there's 3 people right there that were taken into custody. Were inside that home at the time of the raid.
We did see a bunch of investigators going in, making the raid in there and clearing that as well. So they're going to do a thorough search as they conduct this raid. And so far, Stu, from what I understand and from Haley on the ground there, they have not seen, and we have not seen from our vantage point, any sign of Sean Combs, the 54-year-old who is believed to be the property owner of this.
You got some visitors, dog. Get up on that.
The new lawsuit that just dropped against Diddy is massive, and it has photos, it has videos, it names names, and there's so much here that it's never going to fit into a single video. So I'm going to do a quick overview in this video, and then I'm going to do a couple of parts breaking down all the different aspects of what's come out so far. We're talking crime scenes, we're talking photo evidence of celebrities like Cuba Gooding Jr., we're talking record label executives, we're talking hidden cameras in every room of the house, getting recordings of celebrities, executives, politicians at parties with celebrities and underage girls, with drinks being spiked, with drugs. This goes all the way back to the murder of Tupac and Biggie. We're talking about the entire rap and hip hop industry and the whole music industry at large. But to be clear, this is just opinions and speculation. These are not statements of fact. When I show sources in the background, like the court case, you should take those for just what they are. I'm not saying that all of this is necessarily real. So what's happened just now is that this man, Rodney Jones, who is a music producer that worked with Sean Combs, who is Diddy, he just filed this lawsuit. And he didn't just file it against Diddy, he filed against the executives at all of the companies associated and against the companies like Universal Music Group. His lawyers claim that he has secured hundreds of hours of footage and audio recordings of Diddy and his staff and his guests engaging in serious illegal activity. It's illegal for lawyers to make these claims if they don't have reasonable belief that this evidence is legitimate and exists. They could get disbarred for making these claims if they're not true. And some of that evidence is present in this lawsuit, like when Diddy allegedly shot a man. And then the LAPD saw that room in the photo, the bathroom with all that blood, and were on the scene for hours and no arrests were made. They went with the explanation that Diddy told his staff to give, which was it was a drive-by shooting. Diddy made it clear that his head of security, Fahim Muhammad, had the power to make people and problems disappear. This guy. And all of Diddy's staff were instructed to contact Mr. Muhammad if they were ever pulled over by the police in Miami or California. Diddy often bragged about having law enforcement under control. Although the deeper you look, the more it looks like people above him and above law enforcement had him under control. We'll go more into these cases in the detailed videos, but now the bigger picture. See, Diddy has been one of the most powerful people in the rap industry ever since the 90s when he founded Bad Boy Records. And he was only 24 when he founded it. He started his career as a non-paid intern at A&R until he was then fired in 1993 when he was 24 and founded his own label, Bad Boy Records, later that year. So how does a 24-year-old found a massive record label on his own? Well, when you dig further, you realize it wasn't on his own. It was with the help of Clive Davis, his mentor. And the further into it all you dig, you realize that Clive Davis came out as gay later on, and there's a lot of rumors that him and Diddy were in a relationship throughout this time. This is going to come up over and over and over, just by chance. Clive Davis has been running significant portions of the music industry since our parents were kids listening to music, responsible for artists like Aretha Franklin, Alicia Keys, The Grateful Dead, then later Usher, Outkast, Pink. But back in the 60s and 70s, like Janis Joplin, Santana, Aerosmith, Pink Floyd, like, come on, read it. Jones specifically claims that they were trying to groom him to do gay stuff, which has long been the talk of the town in the rap industry by people that aren't with it. Diddy allegedly showed him a tape from a secret recording that he just happened to have of Jones's idol having gay sex with some white guy. And then Diddy apparently told Jones that he had engaged in gay sex with this redacted rapper and that redacted rapper and his idol, Stevie J. And apparently he also promised to make sure that Jones would win Producer of the Year at the Grammys if he did gay stuff on camera. Although, to be clear, he wasn't explicitly saying on camera, but Mr. Jones discovered that Diddy had hidden cameras in every room of his home. I'm going to guess that Diddy didn't learn how to wire a whole house with cameras on his own. Kanye has accused Diddy of being a Fed many times. Diddy's also been accused of ordering the hit on Tupac many times. And when Diddy was asked about this on a podcast, this was his response.
We don't talk about things that are nonsense. We don't even entertain nonsense, my brother. So we're not even going to go there with all due respect, but I appreciate you as a journalist asking.
When you start digging into allegations of the CIA, the FBI, the Mossad having tentacles in the music industry, you wind up at total rumors like this. Former CIA agent admits agency created gangster rap to fill private prisons by glamorizing criminality. Claims like famous hip-hop lyrics of the legendary hip-hop outfit N.W.A. were even scripted by a team of psychologists and war propagandists inside the CIA, according to this former agent. Obviously, these are just totally rumors and conspiracy theories, no truth to this whatsoever. But it leads you to people like Leor Cohen, who might be the most influential person in the last 100 years of music, because he ran Def Jam and made Jay-Z who he is, including Redman, Method Man, DMX, Ja Rule, Ludacris. But it doesn't stop with rap music. We got Bon Jovi, Mariah Carey, Shania Twain, Elvis Costello, Ashanti, Nickelback, Slipknot, Sum 41, The Killers, Slayer. But then we've also got his protege, Julie Greenwald, that got elevated through this merger that he brokered and managed the Black Keys, Bruno Mars, Death Cab for Cutie, Jason Mraz, Kid Rock, Lupe Fiasco, Wiz Khalifa. That would be this Julie Greenwald. And then we've got Lucian Grange, the CEO of Universal Music Group. He's the one that is directly implicated and named in this lawsuit. It is alleged that he attended these parties with underage girls and with sex workers, and he knew that they were spiking drinks, et cetera, et cetera. But when you're talking about Diddy, you got to also talk about Justin Bieber.
Check this out, yo. Justin, you ever seen the movie 48 Hours? Right now, he's having 48 hours with Diddy, him and his boy. They're having the times of their lives, like where we hanging out and what we doing. We can't really disclose, but it's definitely a 15-year-old's dream. I have been given custody of him. He signed to Usher.
I'm signed to Usher.
I had legal guardianship of Usher when he did his first album. I did Usher's first album. I don't have legal guardianship of him, but for the next 48 hours, he's with me. So and we gonna go full crazy.
I'm going crazy.
Crazy.
I'm taking this out tonight.
What you want to do? What you want to do over the next 48 hours?
48 hours. Let's go. Let's just go get some girls.
Now, I've had to turn down $50 million 4 times. 4 times. Just to protect my integrity and that virgin hole I was telling you about. Right. Because P. Diddy be wanting to party. And you gotta tell him no. You got to tell him no. I did. I did. See, I got the receipts for everything I'm telling you. That's why I can say them so freely.
Kid, I need another one. You here, get you another one.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Hey, young brother, everything's good? Selling out arenas and everything? Starting to act different, huh? You ain't been calling me and hanging out the way we used to hang out.
Well, I mean, you try to get in contact with me, through all my, partners and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But
We need to stop focusing on the celebrity names in this Diddy situation and focus on the grand scheme, because if this is all true, this is Epstein level. So the person who's alleging all this is saying homegirl that worked along with Diddy is basically the Ghislaine Maxwell to his Epstein. This is wild. He's also alleging that Diddy has mad hidden cameras in each and every room. And he's basically gotten sex workers, underage people, whatever the case is, to come over the crib and have some of your favorite artists and celebrities doing some crazy stuff. And he's blackmailing them. It's right here, black and white. And I'm seeing too many people focusing on the names that allegedly are involved in all this. You feel me? We need to stop that and look at the totality of this event, because once again, if everything is true, this is Epstein level. We have to have a conversation in this community because this is nasty.
I remember, but back in the 90s, Tupac and Biggie were both coming up, and they were both talking about leaving their records that we've shown the people involved in those records already and starting their own. And Tupac was starting to speak out a little bit maybe about the nature of the industry. Diddy was close in the middle of that, and there's a lot of rumors that he ordered the hit on Tupac. Diddy sort of rose to power on the power vacuum of Tupac and Biggie both leaving the scene. And he has been manipulating and running a huge portion of the industry from the inside ever since. And this court case directly alleges with lots of evidence that he has been running a sexual blackmail scheme that entire time, promoting artists that would engage in the sexual blackmail scheme and then do their bidding there, because there's not just him acting alone, and pushing out, ostracizing, blacklisting, attacking artists that wouldn't. So maybe you should go back and listen to some of Kanye's interviews and see if he sounds quite so crazy after all.
But there is a brand new Diddy lawsuit, and this one, y'all. First of all, let's start with the trigger warning that is listed on the front page of the lawsuit. It says that this document contains highly graphic information of a nature, including SA. Additionally, there are graphic images of the aftermath of a situation, redacted images of intercourse, redacted images of minors, workers, more workers, details of trafficking, and the illegal distribution of weapons and some other stuff. Now listen, I'm definitely not including anything about any minors, anything that's too graphic. I'm not playing those games. But since I did read the lawsuit, let me attempt to give you a recap of some of what's being alleged. The lawsuit was filed by a man named Rodney Jones, who, according to the suit, is a musical prodigy. He says in August 2022, he received a call from Diddy requesting that he produce several songs on the Love album. Rodney agreed, and according to him, his life has been detrimentally impacted ever since. As far as defendants, there are a number of them. There's Diddy, his son Justin Combs, the CEO of Universal Music Group, the CEO of Motown Records, which is the parent company of Love Records. There's a woman named Christina, who is the chief of staff to Diddy. There's Motown Records, Universal Music Group, Love Records, and some others. So there's a lot of defendants. Y'all gonna be sick of me, but another disclaimer. These are allegations. I am not saying they are true. I am not saying they are not true. I am simply telling you what Rodney Jones, the plaintiff in this lawsuit, is alleging happened. This is his version of events. Y'all got it? Here we go. The suit says that Rodney worked for Diddy from September 2022 to November 2023. It starts with an incident that happened on September 12th, 2022 at a recording studio. The suit says that there was a writers and producers camp at the studio, and on this specific day, Diddy, Christian Combs, and a third man named G were in a heated conversation. The conversation moves to a bathroom, and according to Rodney in this lawsuit, a firearm is discharged multiple times. A crowd that's at the studio gathers around the bathroom, and when the door finally opens, father and son exit the bathroom, and G remains on the floor in the fetal position, holding his stomach. Rodney says the crowd around just stood there, not giving any help, and so he tries to apply pressure for G and then asks someone to call the ambulance. The suit alleges that Diddy gave strict instructions to inform the police that he had nothing to do with this incident and instead say that G was struck standing outside of the studio by a drive-by assailant. The lawsuit also includes several news articles regarding the incident, and Rodney says he has several witnesses to corroborate the story and will speak publicly if subpoenaed. It's also worth noting that according to TMZ, LAPD did investigate this incident and found that G was shot during a robbery outside of the studio and ended up just running into the studio after he was shot. In this lawsuit, Rodney says he still has clothes from that day and believes that they still may have stains and DNA from G. The lawsuit also includes pictures of the aftermath that are much too graphic for this video, but they are in the lawsuit. Rodney goes on to say that he lived with Diddy for months at a time, and while they lived together, Rodney alleges that he was the victim of constant, unsolicited, and unauthorized touching by Diddy. Rodney says he is a heterosexual Christian man, and after expressing his discomfort to Diddy's chief of staff, Christina, she responded, quote, "You know Sean will be Sean." So the next part in the suit involves music producer Stevie J. Rodney says that he looked up and idolized Stevie J, and Diddy used that plus his access to Stevie J to entice Rodney. According to the lawsuit, Rodney says that Diddy shared a video of Stevie J doing some stuff and told Rodney, quote, "This is normal practice in the music industry. Look, even Stevie J is doing it." There are pictures included of what the suit alleges Stevie J is doing. And the suit goes on to say that Diddy told Rodney that he himself, Diddy, had engaged in a situation with a rapper, redacted, a singer, redacted, and Stevie J. The next situation detailed in the lawsuit is from Thanksgiving 2022. It alleges that Young Miami and her female cousins were at Diddy's Miami house, and while there, Rodney was in the bathroom, and Miami's cousin comes into the bathroom and essays Rodney, according to this lawsuit. While living with Diddy, Rodney also says that he was transported from California to New York, Florida, and the Virgin Islands. And during that time, he says he was forced to solicit work. He alleges that on or about February 2nd, 2023, he believes that Diddy gave him something. Rodney says he recalls waking up naked, dizzy, and confused, and in bed with some workers and Diddy. Rodney goes on to say that on or about February 4th, 2023, Diddy allegedly forced Rodney to bring people back to his Miami, Florida home. Rodney includes some pictures from that day and says he has some video that he can provide to the court. According to the lawsuit, Rodney was forced to recruit workers, and as a part of his recruitment tools, Diddy provided him with an exclusive bad boy baseball cap and required him to wear it to booby trap on the river, this place, as a signal to any worker that he approached that Diddy was in town and had sent Rodney there to recruit them. Apparently, according to this lawsuit, these workers were accustomed to servicing Diddy and would know that he's in town by the sight of the bad boy baseball cap. The lawsuit then includes Instagram profiles of two of the workers that Diddy allegedly required Rodney to solicit and engage with at his home in Miami. In this suit, Rodney says that Diddy used his power and influence to intimidate and force Rodney into soliciting and sleeping with women. He includes the phone number of a worker that he says Diddy required him to solicit and perform acts with at his home. Rodney claims that Diddy used many tactics to maintain dominion and control over him, like promising him a Grammy for Producer of the Year for the Love album. Rodney says Diddy offered him $250,000 to purchase all of the instruments that he wanted. He says that Diddy promised him ownership of his $20 million property, One Star Island in Florida, and he promised him access to record label executives. But Rodney goes on to say that sometimes Diddy would switch it up. He would go from promising Rodney the world to threatening him with physical harm, including threatening him to eat his face, allegedly. Suit then details a listening party from July 2nd, 2023, in which an R&B artist, that's redacted, Justin Combs, some workers, and some folks who shouldn't have been there were all there. Rodney alleges that the listening party event began at 7 p.m., and upon information and belief, he says the alcohol was laced. Then Cuba Gooding Jr. is mentioned. Suit says that Diddy introduced Rodney to Cuba on a yacht and then left them alone. Rodney alleges that there was some unwanted touching, groping, and fondling, and he includes a screenshot from the day of the encounter. Lastly, Rodney claims that he was not compensated for his time living with Diddy or the songs that he produced. Rodney says he attempted to work with Diddy to secure his publishing and royalty rights for the work he completed on the album, but Diddy only offered him $29,000 for 13 months, thousands of hours of work, and 9 songs that ultimately made it to the album. Suit says, quote, Mr. Jones was willing to take $50,000 for his publishing and royalties, but Diddy's self-serving greed would not allow him to pay Rodney the additional $21,000 that he was asking. In this lawsuit, Rodney says that Diddy's chief of staff, Christina, is to Diddy what Ghislaine Maxwell was to Jeffrey Epstein. He goes so far as to say that the whole operation is a RICO enterprise. Ciao. Okay, I've recapped enough. Y'all get the point. According to TMZ, Diddy's attorney says that, quote, Lil Rod is nothing more than a liar who filed a $30 million lawsuit shamelessly looking for an undeserved payday. His reckless name-dropping about events that are pure fiction and simply did not happen is nothing more than a transparent attempt to garner headlines. He adds, quote, we have overwhelming, indisputable proof that his claims are complete lies. Our attempts to share this proof with Mr. Jones's attorney, Tyrone Blackburn, have been ignored, as Mr. Blackburn refuses to return our calls. We will address these outlandish allegations in court and take all appropriate action against those who make them. So again, this is all alleged, and Diddy will have the opportunity to formally respond to all of these allegations. I'm not saying it's true. I'm not saying it's not true. But if you want to see the full lawsuit, that includes hints at who the redacted names are, as well as pictures and video, you can join my Patreon because I posted the full lawsuit in there. I'm done.
Because P. Diddy be wanting to party. And you gotta tell him no. You got to tell him no. I did.
My name's Ava. I'm a Scorpio.
No. What's your last name?
Oh, Ava Combs.
What's your other last name?
Ava Baroni.
Eva Baroni Combs? Yes, it was breaking news. Diddy adopted a white child. I want you to tell them the story about how I adopted you. But you still have beautiful parents but you're my child also. But please tell the story.
So, I was on the streets, and then Papa Combs decided that he would like to be a caring man. So then he saw me and decided to pick me up and said to come inside and play with his kids.
Hey, but that's like a little bit like borderline suspect. I don't want nobody, we want to get it clear. I adopted you like Madonna adopted kids and everybody else adopted kids, Charlize Theron, everybody that's ever adopted Sandra Bullock. I adopted you because I felt that you could, enjoy also having a black parent to take care of you and help you out. So just clarify it because it's crazy out here online. So I played with the kids and I got permission from your mother and say all of that just make it because it's crazy out here.
Well, I met Jesse and Delilah when I was 6 months old.
6 months.
And then we basically are sisters, all 4 of us. So. And then I always come over.
Yes. And it's Ava Brioni Combs. Come on. Let's go.
Puffy, you stupid ass nigga. I told you stop fucking with R. Kelly. I said grab them in the pussy. Don't kidnap the pussy. They raided your shit, I see. I got a courtesy call when they raided my house. You really fucked up, my nigga. Can I get a copy of the Meek Mill sex tape? Please, nigga. Puffy.